What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 130 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
I am very tired.
You act like you worked today or something.
It's not that I worked today, it's that it's been long days, and I'm working on other stuff around the house, trying to get stuff cleaned up, and so I'm up earlier than normal. We have the cats on a feeding schedule right now, so we're trying to get used to that, and it's just causing a lot of tiredness around the house.
I feel that. I understand all too well, my dude. It is a long week.
Yep.
But, it is what it is, so.
We're talking about Worlds this week, right? It's a little late because Worlds was almost 2 weeks ago now. But,
yeah, when this comes out, Worlds would have been, the last week would have been the weekend, the Monday after Worlds. Yeah. So, we're like a week behind, but it's fine. Alright. It is A-okay.
We wanted to take a minute and talk about the fun trailer that they shared and some cool stuff we saw at Worlds that we liked and stuff like that. I personally didn't watch much VGC for Worlds.
I watched a lot of day one, but that weekend I was just so unbelievably busy with like work and everything else that it's like I did not actually get a good chance to watch a lot of it. So we have the top 16 bracket here, which is actually more than top 16, I believe.
Top 32 are here. I think, or 26 or whatever.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, 26. Okay. So, I figured, we'd at least talk about some of the interesting things here, especially with, like, Sword and Shield VGC essentially being dead at this point with no events until Scarlet and Violet come out. It's going to be counterintuitive to really talk about this, but at the same time, like, this is still very relevant and very important. So being able to actually talk about it and talk about like what was cool, what was good, all that good stuff, I think is relevant. So that was the idea behind talking about Worlds today. But like the big stuff that you and I really want to talk about is going to be the new
trailer.
Information we the trailer from Worlds for Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
So let's just jump on in here to some of these teams. I need to zoom in because it's a little small. There we go. Now I can read. Cool.
A lot of these look like what we would used to see from Series 12, but there's a small handful here that are very cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with top of the left-hand side. This image is of course brought to us by our wonderful friends over at VGC Paste. Huge shout out to them and all their fantastic hard work that they do in making this look nice, neat, and presentable for us. So starting here with the 1 seed with Eduardo Cunez, we have Zacian, Cali, Shadow, Ensign, Gastro, Rillaboom, and Thundy. Nothing overly exciting, pretty standard, all things considered.
Eduardo, I believe Eduardo won the whole thing. Was that right? I don't remember.
I genuinely could not tell you.
If he went 7-0, I would assume that he probably won.
Because
I'm looking through the names trying to figure out who was first and who was second, because like I said, I didn't really watch any of it except like the finals, but then I wasn't really paying attention to the names. I was just watching the Pokemon.
Let's see.
There's a handful of names I recognize though on this list, like Megan Rattle, James Beck, Eric Rios.
Yes, Eduardo did end up winning.
Oh, okay, cool. Paul Chua made top cut. That's cool. Joe UX9 was in top cut. That's also cool.
I believe James Beck was also on there. Yeah. James Beck finished top 16. And the image that we are looking at doesn't have like the final bracket or anything.
We don't know. We don't know who beat who went on and whatnot. We just see the top. It was top 16.
Yeah, we have. There's 6 teams that were guaranteed a spot in top 16, and then the other 20 were playing for 10 spots. So we have all 26 teams here and like the names of those who made top 16, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Looking up for like unique teams here, the first one that sticks out to me is number 8, Tatsuya Watsunuki. This Melisapod Raikou double weather thing is awesome.
Yeah, this is so sick. We have like a really powerful fast mode between, like, of course, Kyogre Tornadus is very good. Raikou is very, very powerful as well. With like under Tailwind, you're able to outspeed a lot of the format. I believe you're base 120 speed. Is that right?
Base 115.
115. Okay, so yeah, you just outpace a lot of the format. I'm really curious about this team. I'm wondering if I can actually like get info on this and actually pull it up.
The one thing I already know from Worlds is a lot of the controversies and whatnot, and if I remember correctly, this match was played on stream and there was a switch error, a switch disconnect in game 2, which really threw, because I believe Tatsuya won game 1 and was winning game 2, and then a disconnect happened, and and then ended up losing game 3 to Ko, and that's why Ko moved on and Tatsuya didn't.
Oh, there is a rental code for this. Okay, sick.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so
there might be an extra bonus episode of laddering?
Oh, maybe, probably not. This team is really cool. So... oh my god, it gets better the longer I look at it. We're AV Galistopod.
Yep, that makes sense.
Leech Life, Drill Run, Sucker Punch, First Impression.
Yep, still all that stuff makes sense.
Choppleberry Ensign.
Yep.
Flare Blitz, Parting Shot, Fake Out, Protect.
Yep. All of this still makes sense. I haven't been stupidly surprised yet.
Prankster, Focus Sash, Tornadus. Yeah. Protect, Tailwind, Icy Wind, Heat Wave. Again,
the Heat Wave's kind of cool. That's not super common.
Yeah, I mean, specifically with Groudon here, it makes a lot of sense just being able to do all that extra damage. Life Orb, Groudon. Protect, Precipice Blades, Thunder Punch, Rock Slide.
Yeah, if you're playing Life Orb, there's no point in playing, like, Swords Dance or Bulk Up or whatever we normally play in that slot. You just want to hit things, and so having Thunder Punch means that you're not just dead in the water to Kyogre.
Raikou is Citrus Berry, Thunder Wave, Snarl, Volt Switch, Weather Ball.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. You get to do Weather Ball stuff. That's pretty neat.
And the best part of this team, Weakness Policy Kyogre.
We can activate with our own Thunder Punch if we want to. That's kind of cool.
And we have Volt Switch to be able to then go into Tornadus to like set Tailwind.
That's really cool. Plus, they're always going to want to try and attack and just Kyogre with a super effective attack anyway, because that's how the game works.
So hot.
So that's really cool.
Choppleberry Protect Ensign and Weakness Policy Kyogre is not something I knew I needed in my life. This is sick.
One of the big things I had started to see like going into Worlds was the rise of Choppleberry Ensign, because you just eat Sacred Swords then. Like, no Zacian's going to be able to take you out with a Sacred Sword then, and then you can return KO with a Flare Blitz. Like, it's super duper cool. It's super duper cool tech, like, especially game 1. Like, if they don't know it, and then you just bop them with it, and it's like, oh, well, now I have to play around that. And they can never safely attack into Incineroar, period.
Yeah, I ran into Choppleberry Ensign. I think it was that was the G-Max Machamp episode of Laddering, right?
It was. And
it would have KO'd had it not been for Choppleberry, and I probably win that game had it not been for that.
Oof.
That was my first instance of seeing it. I'm just like, this is stupid. I hate it. This is unrealistic. No one's gonna play this.
Proceeds to see it a ton at Worlds.
The next team I want to talk about here, just like a quick talk. We have in 16th seed, we have Flavio Del Pedio. Please excuse me for slaughtering these names. Once again, I am an English-speaking American, and therefore I am stupid and bad at pronouncing foreign names.
Okay.
We have Swordfish and Sin, Shedinja, so it's like this, cool French Rain team going on. And then we have P2 and Galarian Moltres in the last slot, which I like this team. It looks really cool on paper.
If I remember correctly, something very similar to that won an event.
Okay. I don't know, man. I really like Galarian Moltres. I think it's super underrepresented.
I recognize that 6 in particular, and now I'm trying to place where I saw it at.
Your guess is as good as mine on this one.
Is it?
The inner workings of my mind are an enigma, so...
Was it the Milan event? It might have been the Milan event, if I could find it. Dooba-dooba-doop-doop-doop-doop-doo.
Oh, fun fact, this same exact team is over here in the 23rd seed as well.
Aha! It was the Milan event with the same exact player. That's why I recognized it.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, they went they went 7-2 in Swiss in the Milan special event and won the whole thing.
Okay, so if the Shedinja Rain team is French Rain, can this be Italian Rain?
Yeah, I think that's the joke, right? This is the Italian Rain team, and that's the running gag.
I love it. I actually hadn't heard anyone else use that, and I love this.
Outside of the Shedinja team, they're on this side of the graph. There's a Kyogre Yveltal team, which is like the restricted pairing is cool, but the rest of the team's super duper standard, it feels like, so it's kind of boring. Is
this the 21st seed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, yeah, I like that pairing a lot. Paul Chua playing probably my favorite restricted pairing of Pally Callie. There's a lot of that over here on the right-hand side. By a lot, I mean, 2.
Yeah.
There's the Gothitelle version of the team with Tapu Fini, and then there's the exact same 6 that Paul Chua played over here in the hands of Adrian Hurley as well. I'm sure it seems, I don't know, obviously I could be incorrect, but 2 American players bringing the same exact 6. There might be some work between the 2 of them.
I would make that
obviously
assumption,
I'm just yes. I'm making connections that may not exist, but they may also.
Yeah. The last big team I want to talk about on this side is David Kotesh's team, which I remember correctly, this was the one that had a lot of hype behind it because it's Dialga Yveltal and then Thundurus, Landorus, Gyarados, and Ferrothorn. Like, this team was not losing to Zacian.
I love Gyarados. It's so funny. Like, this is early Series 12. I was playing Gyarados next to Blaziken. And that team was whatever. But I really did like Gyarados on that team being Focus Sash, so you could always guarantee live a hit against Aleki. And be able to pivot in and out as needed. And then you have access to Thunder Wave for some reason.
Thank you, Gen 1.
But even still, man, it's just so bizarre to think that something that they did back then is still relevant today. Because a lot of those, Thunderbolt Gyarados was something you could do in Gen 1. And I know they removed it from Gen 2, and I don't know if they ever brought it back.
I don't know.
I'm pulling up CRB.
But anywho, the restricted pairing on this thing is super unique in Dialga Yveltal. This was something that I know Ro and I were working on way back at the early Series 12, trying to figure it out. I ended up shelving that team because I just didn't like the play patterns of it right before we're going into play, and couldn't ever find something I really liked. But David figured it out. Ferrothorn makes a great pairing here alongside this Dialga Yveltal, being able to just kind of sit in front of anything special attacking while also just being an annoyance for things that want to attack into your Dialga. We also have a ton of flying types because we have double steel, so we can just ignore Groudon all day, every day, and not have to worry about it ever.
So, fun fact for you. Gyarados can learn Zap Cannon as a transfer-only move.
Neat.
I don't know why, but you can do it.
It's too bad when you go to battle ready them that they forget all their transfer moves.
Yeah, and it actually looks like most generations it has access to Thunder and Thunderbolt as well. It might literally just be Gen 2 that they removed it.
Ah.
Yeah, because there it is in Gen 3.
Harder doing all this detective work.
Okay, it's not a TM in Crystal, but it's a move tutor move.
Yeah.
So as a result, it's a Gen 1 only move until Crystal when it became a move tutor move.
Yep.
So in Gold and Silver you cannot.
But in
Interesting.
Crystal,
because instead we had the elemental punches as TMs.
Yeah. You got the Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, Ice Punch.
Yep. Okay, cool. See, I'm kind of crazy. I think the last team I want to touch on here before we move on is Megan Rattle's team here in 18th. The 18th seed we have Swordfish plus Celesteela, Lando, Thundy, and Grimmsnarl. I don't know, just like the unique placing of Celesteela I think is really interesting.
Celesteela is one of my favorite Pokemon to play with, and it's nice to see it pop back up in Series 12. It's got a really cool type. You can steal flying. You don't get to abuse it as much as you really think you would, but also being able to just sit there and stall in front of people is really, really cool. So depending on what Celesteela this is, like you could either take over a game with Dynamax and Power Orb or Assault Vest, or just sit there and just stall the game out in the end game with Leech Seed and Heavy Slam.
It's really interesting. I believe Celesteela, even in like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, was able to do this like diverse power thing where like, multiple sets were accessible to it, being like Life Orb and like being offensive, or you still had that stall set with like Leech Seed substitute stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really interesting that even now that, granted, we have the island armor moves, so we have like Meteor Beam and stuff for it. It can be just a really, really powerful offensive threat.
Oh, yeah. But yep, that's about really it. Everything else feels super duper standard, or is pretty close to standard.
And I'm sure there's a lot of tech at Worlds that we're not covering for whatever reason. So please down in the comments tell us, what we missed, and like, tell us your favorite piece of technology that you saw over the weekend. 2 weekends ago.
Yeah. I will say my favorite thing I saw from Worlds was just watching Blackhand demolish teams in Unite. Because that's all I watched was Unite. Like, I just had it on all the time. And so watching teams just get dismantled was a lot of fun.
For the record, the rental code for the Weakness Policy Kyogre team's still up.
Well, there you go. I
may have to play some in my off time.
There you go.
My little bit of, downtime I get.
Yep. But that's not all we got from Worlds. We got a competitive trailer, which, because it is Worlds, they're going to be a VGC focused trailer. Thank goodness. They kind of get to explore what terastallizing is. They showed off some new items that we're going to be getting, which is really, really cool. Some of these have some really cool implications for VGC. Some of them not so much.
I think the biggest thing coming from this is like, we got a couple more like Pokemon confirmations that are in the game. We have access to like Colossal is shown here in the trailer,
which we knew that one from way back.
Yes, you are correct. We have Flareon as well, so like obviously Eevee is therefore confirmed.
Like we knew Eevee, we just weren't sure on Evolutions yet, but
correct.
It shows that.
And like again, pretty obvious that like if they're gonna have one of its line, it'd be weird to not have all of them.
Yeah.
Fortress is also here in the background.
That's which what I think I'm happy for.
Yeah, I think is really interesting. Gallade, so therefore the Ralts line is in, which we already knew because Gardevoir was revealed in one of the trailers, right?
Yep.
Let's see. Chansey, Blissey are shown.
Breloom.
This
is the important one.
Breloom, I think, is like the big one that we didn't really have. We didn't really know, and I think a lot of people have been missing. Same with Hariyama, which I believe is also already confirmed.
I'm not sure on Hariyama. I knew Breloom was new in the trailer that when we saw it. I'm not sure if Hariyama was new in the trailer when we saw it.
I genuinely don't remember.
But getting both of these is awesome because it brings out a lot of BDSP vibes from playing the Draft League and whatnot and trying that format out. And I'm super excited to play that again. That was a lot of fun.
The other big part of that is Azumarill is also back. So like there's another like I don't want to make claims that I know the BDSP meta, but I feel like Azumarill's good. I don't know. I've always really liked Azumarill.
Water Fairing's a very strong typing, and if you can like get your Azumarill in a position to do something really like powerful, this is going like Azumarill can take over games, especially when there's no giant Dynamax or Regieleki sitting across from you to blow you up now, right?
Or Rillaboom's clicking Grassy Glide, or
like there's not a whole lot of crazy stuff that's going to just punish you super hard. So now we're gonna go back to a format where you can get away with this kind of like I'm a Belly Drum Azumarill, I'm going to set up. But this brings us into the first item, Mirror Orb, which is essentially a consumable item that lets you copy the stat increases of an opponent.
Yeah, just really punishing setup moves. So nice sword stance, I'll be taking that. Nice dragon dance, calm mind. Just I wonder. Like those are the obvious ones. I wonder if like minimize also works.
Like I would be looking towards swagger.
Yeah.
That's what I would be looking for. It's like, oh, hey, you've already attacked this turn. I'm going to swagger you. Hey, look, my Mirror Orb triggered. Now you're +2 and confused, but I'm +2.
That does seem really sick. I'm not going to lie.
That'll be really cool. Like some cool tech to see, especially in singles. That'll be something you'll see on singles probably a lot is I'm going to swagger you. I'm now +2.
Have we seen any prankster Pokemon revealed yet?
Outside of Murkrow, no.
Oh, I did forget Murkrow was revealed.
We saw Murkrow, but I think that's the only one. Which Murkrow is Prankster Tailwind, if I remember right. Still, right? Does it get Tailwind? Okay. I'm not sure if we have any other Prankster Tailwind users in the game. I know we technically have Gale Wings Talonflame to do that too, but that'll be really cool. Having different Prankster mons to use.
Let's see. Just looking at, I'm over here on Cerebi, just looking at like officially confirmed Pokemon that are in the game.
I know I sent you a link to the Pokedex before.
Oh, I'm just on Cerebi. They have the updated list. There's Murkrow that is confirmed. Oh, we get Slaking as well. I think that one's new, right?
That one is technically new, I think. I don't remember seeing Slacking in any of the trailers, but it might have been hidden in one of them.
Sableye is in the game, so that's another confirmed Prankster Mon. Riolu because Lucario's in.
Yep. I'm trying to think of all the Prankster Pokemon. Meowstic male would be a Prankster Pokemon that we need to look for.
Not on the list yet.
Klefki has Prankster, right?
Yes. Did I miss Klefki?
I was just asking if it has it. I'm pretty sure it does.
It does.
I'm not sure if it's in the list, but I'm just asking.
It is not on the list. So yeah, that's actually it.
Confirmed for now.
Correct.
So obviously,
interesting. Very, very interesting. We don't know if
there's like Grimmsnarl hiding in there because we saw Hatterene in a thing, and Grimmsnarl is the partner Pokemon for Hatterene for version exclusives.
Can we just not Can we not? Is that an option?
Just give me Grimmsnarl, I'll be fine.
No.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of seeing its stupid, dumb face.
To be fair, there'll only be one set after when we go into this new format, right? Because screens aren't going to be stupid important anymore because Dynamax isn't a thing.
I mean, I still do think screens are good.
Yeah, but they're not going to be silly important to have all the time. So
Correct.
there's going to be one set that's better than the screen set, which will probably be like the Trick set or the Thunderwave set, having Spirit Break or other things like that. Like they'll be able to carry Fake Out and they'll be able to do these more prankster style things rather than I'm going to be the super support and set screens and that's all I'm going to do.
Yeah, this is really cool. I think there's a lot that, like, tying this back to Mirror Herb, I think this item is really, really cool and can do a lot. Because, like, playing against something like Speed Boost. Okay, cool. I will also get that boost. Now I KO you. Now I'm going to retain that speed boost to be able to KO you back.
So like, I'm +1 now, so we're still in the same speed tier, and now I'm faster than everything else in the back.
Correct. I think that's really interesting. I wonder if this is going to, like, in doubles, if this is going to work, like, against either target, or if it's just like the one directly across from you.
Sees the first stat change, or is it just the stat change across from you? That'll be something we'll have to see when it comes to doubles and whatnot. The next item is Covert Cloak. This is going to protect against the additional effects of moves. So this is shield dust in an item, essentially.
Yes. This is really, really cool.
We're not sure if it's consumable or not, but the way I think it's going to work is it is going to be like safety goggles or assault vest, kind of just on the Pokemon, and then when you hit it, it's like, oh, hey, this didn't work, and so it'll keep that, and it's just going to ignore it over and over.
Correct. Correct.
This has a lot of implications for like Trick Room teams that want to have a pretty easy way of setting a Trick Room. So now they have to be taunted. You can't Fake Out into them because that's an extra effect of a move. Fun fact. You can't be flinched by that. So that's pretty cool. You can ignore Scald Burns. You can ignore like special attack drops from Moonblast. There's a lot of implications for this item.
I think it'll be Huh? Does this ignore, like, triggered effects from an ability? Or does
it's just for moves. It's just for moves. This is just for moves.
So I'm trying to think, like, if you click a move into, like, Breloom and trigger Effect Spore, does Shield Dust prevent Effect Spore from triggering?
No. That's an ability triggering, not from that's not an additional effect from the move.
Okay.
That's the ability triggering on the Pokemon.
Okay. I mean, I assumed that was the case, but like that is just like an added layer to try to think about.
Now we aren't sure if that's how it's going to be coded to work.
Correct.
But from the way this is worded, it's just prevents the additional effects of moves. The one things I think that it don't get prevented are things like knockoff. Knockoff still gets through this and will knock the item off. Outside of that, I'm not sure of any other niche scenarios where you will still get hit by the additional effect of the move. Because knockoff doesn't affect the Pokemon, it affects the item.
Correct. Let's see. So like all the stat lowering effects are secondary effects, so like Icy Wind, Snarl, flinching from like rock slide, iron head, headbutt, stuff like that.
Yep.
And there's a lot that really is affected by this.
I think this will be almost a guaranteed item on a lot of teams, especially on the Trick Room teams. Like the Trick Room teams are going to be able to utilize this the most. Being able to just ignore like Fake Out is huge when you're trying to do things on turn one. Fake Out's still going to be a very important tool to have.
We get to ignore burns from like Heat Wave.
Yeah, like burn from Heat Wave, burn from Scald. Like if you're really worried about like getting your physical attackers getting like statused outside of just normal status moves, then Covert Cloak's going to be a great item for you.
Yeah, this is really, really cool. This has a lot of added effects I did not even think about. Like, you don't have any of the secondary effects from, like, status conditions. You can't be frozen from, like, Ice Beam or anything because there's no natural attack that, like, freezes you.
Yeah. Like,
as its only effect. So you don't have to worry about anything from that. Man, there's so much to think about. This is so cool.
Yeah, this is the big item from the trailer. Like, this is the important one. The not so important one is the loaded dice.
I think this item's just bad. And if you want me to be very blunt, I think this item's a waste of food. It is cool in concept, depending on how much it actually affects.
The best way to describe this in comparison to, like, so you kind of get the idea of what we're talking about here, loaded dice is the utility umbrella of Scarlet and Violet. Cool in concept, not the greatest in actual use. Yeah. So loaded dice increases the chances that you are more likely to hit multi-strike moves. So the minimum multi-strike moves can hit is 2. Essentially, this is going to increase the odds that you're going to hit 3 or more times.
Yeah, which is just, it's really bizarre.
It's cool for, like, Bullet Seed or things like that, but, like, things like that are cool, like powerful, usually only hit twice, and they're not going to work for that.
Yep, agreed.
And so maybe you compare this with, like, things that would, like Skill Link already does this, and you just bop them really good, and having loaded dice is just like no Skill Link Pokemon is insanely broken, right? And so having loaded dice and making a pseudo Skill Link Pokemon, it's not that great.
It's bad. It's really bad. Like, I think the other 2 items definitely have utility. I think Covert Cloak is insane.
Yeah,
especially if there's no downside. Is the safety
goggles.
That's the way to compare it. If there's no downside like there is for, like, Assault Vest, this thing is insane.
Yeah.
And, like, based on the description that they're giving us, there's no downside.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really cool.
Fun fact, we also got Cyclizar. Is that its name?
Yes. Which, fun fact, it's actually not on Cerebi. And if it is, I'm not seeing it.
So Cyclizar is normal dragon. It has this cool move called Shed Tail, which is essentially substitute and U-turn all in one.
It's really cool.
We're not sure if this is a signature move or if it's going to be available to other Pokemon. But if it's available to other Pokemon, I can't wait to Shed Tail Slowbro.
You know what this reminds me of? Like, just its design, and, like, I'm sure someone else has already said this. This design really just reminds me of, like, a base evolution for Miraidon and...
That's what it is.
It, like, 100% confirmed?
100%, yeah. That's what it is.
If it's not, I would be very, very surprised. Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it is like the base form for Miraidon and Koraidon.
It doesn't have a Pokédex number yet. But, like, it's really weird. They did this, obviously, in Sun and Moon, because we have Cosmog and Cosmoem. But yep. I'm really curious if this is going to be a restricted, because it evolves into a legendary Pokemon.
Oh. Maybe not.
I think this attack is very, very good. Especially, like, if it has, like, negative priority, I think this attack is insane. Or, like, you have, like, lagging tail on this, so you always move last. Set up your Shed Tail, go into whatever you want, and then, like, you always get a free attack off.
Yeah. The example they used was going from Cyclizar into Magnezone, because Magnezone having a substitute up is huge. Mm-hmm. Having that 4 times weakness means you can play, like, Analytic Magnezone after you lagging tail, Shed Tail out, bring Magnezone back in, bring Magnezone in. It's behind a substitute. They can't really safely knock it out successfully in 2 hits, depending on what's going on. and then Magnezone gets its analytic boost because it gets to move last and blow something up.
Yeah, this thing is really cool.
So I'm hoping Shed Tail is not a signature move. I'm hoping other Pokemon get access to it because it'll be cool to see it across the board.
I'd be surprised if it's not a signature move.
Yeah.
If you want me to be honest, I'd be surprised.
I'm excited about it. I want it to be not a signature move, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be. The other thing we got to see in the trailer was more about terastallizing and how terastallizing works. Hey, fun fact, the things we talked about in the leak trailer were mostly right.
Mm-hmm. Yep, funny how that works.
So, terastallizing, for those that may not be aware, this is the gimmick for Scarlet and Violet. Any Pokemon can have any Terra type in the game. Certain Terra types are going to be more rare than others. I'm not sure if there's going to be a way to change Terra types like via item like we do with natures and things like that. There might be. But for now, all we know is Pokemon have Terra types. There you can have any Terra type. Certain Terra types are rarer than others.
Which, like, there's also, allegedly in the leak, there is a, like, item that allows you to change your Terra type. So, like, cool. I'll take it.
If there is, cool. It's probably post-game.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
It's probably like the ability patch or the ability, or like anything we would get in like the Dynamax Raid Adventures.
Yep, 100%.
So the way Terra types work, we talked about it a little bit in the leak. Terra types overwrite all your typings. So in the example they used, Tyranitar's Rock and Dark, it has the Ghost Terra type, so it becomes a Ghost type. This overrides all of its typings, so it's no longer Rock or Dark type. It is now just a pure Ghost type.
Yep, super cool. Super
loses
cool.
all stab bonuses it would have for Rock and Dark as well. It doesn't have anything like that. So this is a cool like defensive option for Pokemon. If you have a 4x weakness, you can I'm gonna just Terra type to the one thing that can't hit me.
Correct.
And just completely neutralize it. So that's kind of cool. On the flip side of that, there's Pokemon where you can do it offensively and maybe go super stab. Things like Rotom would be really, really cool with this. You lose the secondary effects from being, say, Rotom Wash is water, loses the water typing, becomes a full electric type. You still have Levitate, so you have no weaknesses anymore. And so
yeah, I think Rotom, like, Terra Electric Rotom is going to be very, very good.
Which we know Rotom's in the game.
Yeah, based on literally zero information, I think it's good.
Yeah. Which we'll probably see things like Rotom Grass, Rotom Fire more often than Rotom Wash now, because you can just lose the negative typings that those would come with, but still have access to the moves.
Yep. And I think that's the best part of it. Obviously, you lose stab on like your overheat and stuff, but you also lose your rock weakness and your water weakness, and going from multiple weaknesses to 0 seems very, very powerful.
That added on to the fact that your electric type attacks become super stab is what I'm going to call it, because it's just it's bonus on top of it.
It becomes analytic stab.
Yeah.
I mean, not really analytic, adaptability stab.
We think it's adaptability stab. We're not sure yet. We're not sure what the Terra type boost is yet. We haven't really done the math for that. But it's still going to be enough to where it's significant. And that's what's important there.
Agreed.
We've also seen it do cool things with Colossal specifically, because in the trailer with the Rotom used Hydro Pump into a water type Colossal, and they showed off how the resistances work and things like that. So Colossal still gets to do its steam engine thing. We just don't have Focalith, really cool, which makes Colossal much worse.
Well, you know.
Still being able to go to +6, and then it's like, hey, that activated my Mirror Herb. Now I'm +6.
Yeah.
That'll be a cool like counter tech. That'd be real cool to see.
Yeah, I really like the idea behind all these. I think terastallizing is going to be very good and very, very much like a solid change of pace while also making it where it's going to be a culture shock for those who are on like not prepared for it. I feel like.
I feel like everyone's been like, oh, terastallizing's broken because you're not going to be able to see it in team preview. You're not going to be able to know what to expect. You're going to be able to figure it out pretty quickly what the Terra types are. Because
I think
certain
so.
Pokemon are going to want certain Terra types.
If that's not the case, I'd be very surprised.
Like, I'm trying to think of Pokemon that would want multiple different Terra types access to it, and that those will be the ones that'll be hard to guess. But like Colossal is going to want to be a water type. 95% of the time, you're not going to want to change it into anything else, because most of the time you're going to be taking that water type attack from an opponent because you're 4 times weak to water, which means you start running ground. The other typing, I guess, there you could probably run like flying if you wanted to avoid ground type attacks.
Yeah,
flying Colossal's kind of cool, but like then you're taking neutral damage from water instead of resisted damage and not triggering your steam engine.
Agreed.
And so it'll become pretty obvious to people what Terra types are good and what Terra types are common the more you play the game, right?
Yep. Who knew playing the game will help you get better at the game?
Right?
That's a very foreign concept, Carl. Thank you.
You're welcome. The last little bit is they confirmed the new hidden power, which isn't really hidden power, but it's kind of hidden power, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so this is Terra Blast. Is that what it's called, right?
Terra Blast.
And it deals damage based on your Terra type, based on when you've terastallized. Otherwise, it's just a normal type move.
Yeah.
So you have stab on it thanks to your Terra typing. And what's really sick is, unlike hidden power, this can be used as a physical or special stat depending on which is higher.
Yeah. This is super important.
This is like Photon Geyser, but for every Pokemon that also has access to every typing.
Yeah.
This is sick.
This is fixed hidden power, essentially.
Yes.
Right?
It is so good.
It forces you to use the gimmick. It forces you to terastallize in order to get the benefit of it. Otherwise, it's just a normal type move. Granted, that's cool for the normal type Pokemon, but normal type Pokemon aren't super duper strong usually anyway. We know that certain Pokemon probably aren't going to be in the game. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, P2. You're probably not going to be here to enjoy this stuff.
Can we talk about this? I need normal type terastallized PZ with this on it just to blast people into the next life. Like,
so you could either A, adaptability terastallize normal type. Or B, adaptability terastallize ghost type with Terra Blast.
I mean, both seem really good. The fact that like adaptability stacks with your Terra type is just absurd.
It still transfers over.
So absurd. It's so good.
That's probably why it's not in the game.
I really hope it's not, just for the sake of like doing calcs.
Because that's Dynamax level powers of just strong.
The biggest problem with like specifically PZ in the game is that P2 has to be in the game too.
Yeah, and that's where it becomes a problem. Because then we have a bulky ghost type P2 that can sit there and click Terra Blast into you over and over and over. And if you have a normal type in the game, it doesn't ever have to do anything, and you still just click Terra Blast into you over and over and over. Like, forget Ice Beam, forget Shadow Ball and Thunderbolt. We're just going to play Terra Blast as our last move and play Recover, Trick Room, and Eerie Impulse, and just blow you up.
This is sick. I love it.
But yeah, Terra Blast I feel like this is the best way they could have approached, like, taking hidden power out in Sword and Shield set us up for this, right?
Correct.
Like, this was the setup. Hidden power was going to be stupid busted in the Dynamax format because this became any Dynamax power move you wanted it to be. Because of the way Weather Ball, Terrain Pulse, and all those other moves work. And so taking hidden power away meant that they could come up with this fixed version for the game and set it up to the point where terastallizing isn't going to be stupid busted, but Terra Blast is going to be a good move that you can play on your terastallized Pokemon.
Yeah,
It is
I
a
actually,
TM. That is the thing. It is a TM. So we aren't sure if there's TMTRs like Sword and Shield had at the moment. We just know that there's TMs.
I actually like thinking about this a little more. The idea of terastallize, like terastallization, is really cool for the concept of like draft leagues as well.
Yeah.
Because like you have to prep for every potential type of every Pokemon. And like in reality, no, you don't. But like
in a
if you
draft
go,
league format, it could be really powerful and really cool.
if you go, I have 3 ground weaknesses. I should really be scared of ground type. That won't be a problem. My opponent doesn't have any ground types.
Joke's on you. Enter ground type Gyarados.
Everyone is a ground type.
Say enter ground type Gyarados, run people over, get them.
Did you mean Landorus?
No, Landorus doesn't get hit by ground type moves still. That's been the cool part about terastallization and trying to figure out, like, is it busted? Is it not? It's like, is it better than Dynamax? Like, is it worse than Dynamax? Everyone's been trying to figure that out, and like we don't know enough about it to make those assumptions quite yet.
Agreed.
I believe someone did the calcs on Terra Blast from the video, from the trailer, and Terra Blast, I believe, is base 70. Which
interesting. Okay.
It'd be a base 70 power move with stab, so it's ends up being like a 105 after stab boost, which that's well within the range of random coverage moves, right? Like we see like Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, things like that on Pokemon all the time. So Terra Blast being essentially a base 105 power move after your stab terastallize changes is really just in line with how Pokemon works.
I love it. I think this is so cool. I'm so excited for this. It's such a drastic change to everything we've been dealing with for the last 3 years, and I could not be more excited for it.
I've said it once, and I'll probably say it again. Terastallization feels like the most balanced gimmick we've had, period.
Again, right? Based on literally zero gameplay.
It's based on nothing, like, gameplay-wise, but just, like, looking at how the mechanic is going to interact in Pokemon.
Agreed.
You're going to be able to see it. It's a visual thing. It's not like, I've changed types, but you don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. No, like, you have this fancy headdress. You're going to be able to see it in-game and know it over and over and over. It's like, hey, I'm whatever type. It's up above my head. Light bulb, here you go. Like, you only get to do it for one Pokemon in a game. Like, now granted, it's going to be permanent for that Pokemon until it faints or switches out. I'm not sure of how it works. I
believe they have said that it stays regardless of swapping out or not.
That'll be cool then.
I believe they have confirmed that.
That'll be cool.
One of the videos, I don't remember. Maybe it's this one from August 3rd.
If it stays over switches, that's kind of cool.
Let's see. You can terastallize a Pokemon once per battle, and the transformation will last until the battle ends.
Okay, so yeah, so it is through switches and everything else. It'll stay.
Yes.
So you could use that as a pivot Pokemon, like, oh, I have this guy in, I need to ignore your move. Oh, and now I'm going to switch out into this other defensive Pokemon to get this pivot off and do all that jazz. It'll be a cool defensive tactic. Games are going to probably slow down significantly. We will probably see longer games rather than shorter games, where Dynamax was hyper offensive and blowing people up. This will probably be slower, bulkier gameplay and pivoting around trying to get into a good position again, which is what Pokemon probably should be doing.
Yeah, I think this is really, really awesome. Playing for less hyper offensive gameplay. Honestly, I think that will really helped me as a player. Because like obviously I do enjoy super hyper offensive teams ending the game in 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah.
Like that's my play style. Just like beat them down until they're done. But like I also feel like if you go back and like watch the earlier laddering videos as opposed to like where the laddering videos are now, you can definitely tell I am way more aware of like pivoting and like learning how to position myself into a position where I can take over the game. And like I do think that is something I have improved upon. But I also do think that like playing for longer games is going to help that even more.
Yeah. I already liked playing longer games. Like I was real big into just stalling the game out and drawing the game out entirely. So I feel like this is going to play into my wheelhouse even more. So I'm excited to just maybe flex my intellectual muscle on this and try to come up with cool strategies that people may not be expecting.
I also I don't think we've talked about it yet, but there is the screenshots of like the online connections screens and stuff like that have been shown off as well. Like the menu UI looks fine.
Yeah.
We do have like rental teams confirmed to be back, which I think
like
is huge.
that was the big thing is we get rental teams back. We have a ranked ladder back. There's online competitions so we can host ladder tours ourselves again.
That's the hope. Granted, we do not know that that's how it works. Yeah. It says right here, friendly competitions in this format. You can hold your very own competition or join one set up. Yeah, cool. So
yeah,
ladder tours are back. Hopefully they expand upon that to allow us to play like best of 3 as opposed to just laddering. But I'm happy that we just have something that we as a community can run ourselves.
Yeah, super excited about that, especially like rental teams was a very good change of pace. Like having access to just share your teams globally across the world was really cool. Being able to do that again here is super great. That means that we'll be able to speed out these teams pretty quickly once we get through the game's early points and be able to start churning out things that people can play with and test with and try to play on ladder and kind of explore.
Correct. So like I can rush through the game, or I can play casually and just pick up rentals and play for content as I finish my gameplay.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's a way to record your battles as of yet. We don't know. But soon, maybe there's going to be more on this menu as we get closer to launch. I know a lot of people really miss the versus recorder, and it'd be nice to have that, even just like for like grassroots tournament commentary and things like that.
Agreed. Being able to record your matches, I think, is awesome.
Other than that, I'm not sure if there's any other news from Worlds to talk about there. I think we covered all the big stuff.
Yeah, I think we got everything. Pretty satisfied with how everything is. So, yeah. This has been cool.
You ready to get out of here then?
I think so. I'm going to go fix dinner and go play F&M, I think. I don't know yet.
I have to go find a new Pro Controller because I killed my other one.
Alright, everyone. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you're listening over here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications when new stuff goes live. If you're listening on any of the other platforms, make sure you go ahead and leave a 5-star review. It really does help us get our signals boosted and have new people come in and join the community as well. You can always follow us over on Twitter at LRLessons, myself at Mr. Missouri25, Carl is at MusicalVGC. You can follow us over on Twitch as well at Mr. Missouri25 and at Musical. No underscore, just Musical.
Nope, just Musical.
Cool. I will get it figured out one of these days, man. just become universal everywhere.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, close enough, whatever. You can of course follow us over on Discord. Come join our community. It's fantastic. It's free. Why haven't you done it already? You can hang out with us and talk about Unite and anything Pokemon related or anything not Pokemon related. We have
football's getting ready to start. Everyone's going to be talking about that for a while.
Yeah, I can go unmute the sports room because now it's going to be talking about football and not basketball and soccer.
Baseball.
Yeah, there we go. That's the other one. But yeah, so that's always exciting. Past that, you can follow us over on... you can go check us out on the website at lrlessons.com. We have a new article going up, I believe, this weekend.
It'll be probably
everything.
on Monday.
Okay,
it'll probably go live on Monday.
Aaron wrote up a tournament report for his draft league where he ended up winning RTT. So go and check that out. Support him. Go do all that good stuff. That video that we recorded should also be out already. So that should have been up yesterday.
It'll be out on Sunday. It should have been out yesterday. Yeah.
Yep. Go check that out. It was a really good time getting to talk to him about his life and draft strategy and all that good stuff. And yeah, while you're over on the website, go and check out the merch page. You can pick up some fantastic t-shirts and hoodies and cups and all that good stuff.
The invitational shirt for season 2 is only going to be up for so much longer. If you want them, get them in now.
I know
I'll be
quite
taking
a few
that down
people.
soon.
I know a lot of people have already picked theirs up and said it's fantastic and they love it and all that good stuff. So Teespring does make good stuff, and I am very glad that that's who we use for all of our stuff. So
yep,
I think that's it. Oh no, Anchor support. If for some reason you don't want to buy fancy t-shirts or that's too much for you and you want to support us for as little as 20 or 25 cents an episode, you can go over to anchor.com and support us there as well. So I think that's it. I think that's actually factually everything.
I think that's it now.
Cool. All right, everyone. Have a fantastic week. We will see you then. Have a good one. Peace.